Greetings, folks. About to get back on trail. It's Monday, Memorial Day. I think May 25th or something. Just stayed at the Boots Off Hostel. It was fabulous. Great hostel. Very clean. Treehouse and Critter do a great job. Everything was super clean, super nice. Had a private room first night with Butterfly and Grasshopper, and they bolted out. I had to spend all day uploading videos and doing editing. It's kind of a chore. Just finished. A little delay in getting that last one uploaded, but another one on the way, I hope. But I got to get internet, so you have to kind of deal with that. But all in all, a great stay. I met some other folks too. It's time for the woods. Trail's calling. Even though it's got a drizzly rain right now, it's time. So it's kind of funny, you know, before you leave the hostel, you resupply all your food. You're stuffing 6 nights in there and getting everything prepped, washing your hands for the last time in a while, brushing teeth twice in a day, to getting everything for your last time before you head back to the woods and get nasty again. But still, always feels good to get back in the woods. Road is slow. So back on trail, feeling good. About a mile in, just kind of seeing the rhododendrons and getting the smells and all the oaks, and it's just a variety of foliage, enjoying it. So Virginia is the biggest and longest state on the AT. I think it's over 500 miles. So they say you get the Virginia blues after a few weeks. It becomes a mental game. Kind of gets in your head, and you want to go home, see your kids, and you want to get off, and you get other responsibilities, and you lose a lot of folks. Hopefully not so with me. We'll keep chugging, but I'm going to try and stay in the woods more if I can. Try and make some better ground is the goal. Obviously, doing videos takes a while of editing with internet, and then uploading takes forever. So that's kind of a chore. But if I can figure it out to do it on Nero, and Nero is when I hike in that same day and, get everything done that day and hike out the next day. That's ideal. But looking forward to Virginia. You do make bigger miles. It's an easier, as far as terrain goes, what I'm told. Still got some mountains and some hills. We go over Mount Rogers here in a few days, I think, which is the highest point in Virginia. But after we kind of get through that, Grayson Highlands is way up high. I've been there before. They have wild ponies, and they come up and lick you, and for the salt off of you. Yeah, a lot of fun. So that nice couple were southbounders, but they were lashes, long ass section hikers. And so they've probably been out here for a week or two, maybe longer. But real nice. You go into Damascus and stay at a nicer place than a hostel, I think. But yeah, you can be a long ass section hiker. So this next section, it's about an 80-mile section from Damascus, Virginia to Atkins, Virginia, where I'm getting a package from my good buddy Charlie, my mountain bike buddy, sending me a resupply and some other little gift items, I believe, if all goes well. So that's exciting. Shout out to Charlie. But that's 6 days from now. But so far so good. Section first 2 or 3 miles, not murderous like coming into Georgia and North Carolina, which were major step ups, 2 and 3 foot steps for 1,000 of them. So we'll see. There's one big mountain. We go over Mount Rogers, tallest in Virginia, and then I think we kind of level out for a while. But this is the first time solo for me, really, since the beginning. Raining this morning, so I'm slow moving. I'm making some coffee over here right outside my tent and some oatmeal, trying to pack up and get motivated. But it's a little difficult, but we're gonna do it. Well, we had a wet night last night, but I was in my tent nice and dry. First time solo camping, kind of way out by myself, a little spooky. You start hearing things in the middle of the night, wondering if bears are around and, you know, what's happening. But all in all, pretty good. Made it through. Slept good. Slept long. Went to bed about 7. Woke up about 7. So, I woke up a few times. Had to use the restroom, whatever, but all in all, it was a good night. But packed up a wet tent always kind of sucks because you got to carry that weight until you get some dry, sunny conditions where you can dry it out somewhere. But we're going to rock and roll, get on down the trail, keep on chugging towards Katahdin. So, during the Hurricane Helene up here, this great trail, the Virginia Creeper Trail, which is a nice walking trail for miles and miles on the slow grade. It runs all by the rivers and creeks through Virginia and Damascus, Southern Virginia. It got wiped out. And as you can tell, look at this bridge. It just goes across to the other side. Steel girders in the water. And just totally wiped out. So they're saying the Virginia Creeper Trail may not get rebuilt for a while, which is a bummer because it's really nice. And but just imagine, so I'm 20 feet above the river right now, and I think it got up to 40, and that's just unbelievable amount of water and pressure. The amount of blowdowns you're going through, I just went through a heck of a set of blowdowns, crawling all through some junk, bush hogging through rhododendrons, and with all the water they got, I think 15 inches in an hour or something, it just uprooted or made all the roots weak, and all these trees just got blown over and toppled everywhere. So it's really going to be years and years before it totally recovers, but they're working hard on the AT, and I'm very thankful they got that going for us, at least for the most part. Here's a big blowdown right on the trail, and you have to go around it. And it's usually pretty treacherous, as you can see. And I just busted my fanny, slid out, rolled over, came tumbling down, but I'm okay. Anywho, these blowdowns are tough. Clouds, buzzards, rock, second highest point in Virginia. I think it's 5,300 feet. Check it out with me. What a view. Clouds. Still, it's cold and windy, and the clouds are coming through fast. So when I was in Scouts, a leader in the Boy Scout troop, when Faulkner was going through it, one of the things was to use your resources. And after hiking 12 and a half miles in the rain and going down trails that were gushing, and it's 35 degrees outside and I'm freezing, it's got my tent up, I found a nice warm restroom by the roadside, and I'm going to use my resources and change and put on some dry clothes before I go to bed, and heck, I might even cook dinner in here. So you gotta do what you gotta do. Not a whole lot to it, really. So, just got into my tent. It's been raining pretty much all day. In fact, today was a rough day. Even thought about quitting or maybe slowing down or maybe jumping to different sections just because maybe a few reasons. Maybe I was hiking alone the past few days, been hiking in the rain the past few days. I went up a 3,000 foot climb peak that about killed me. Everything was just kind of rough. I was praying hard, just help me, Lord, give me the perseverance and guidance just to make it. Finally made it to this campsite, pushed through, even when I wanted to drop a couple times, but made it almost 13 miles, so that was good. And then got this campsite next to this road. It's about 38 degrees, it's raining, it's freezing, I'm soaking wet. Set up my tent, throw my stuff in, go out to the pit toilet out by the parking lot and change clothes in there, and then go back and take all my cooking equipment and my dehydrated meals and cooked in the toilet area. Oh my gosh, I'm homeless. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. But I called my good friend BTS. He's been off a couple days helping another girl and working an injury out. And he said, just push through it, Tree. You'll make it. Keep on pushing. Hopefully I'll link up with him. I need some camaraderie and some good support. So that felt good. But tomorrow's another day. Hopefully we'll keep on chugging all the way to Katahdin. Good night. So after a rough couple days, I was like needing to extract and go get warm and get some wet clothes dry and butterfly grasshopper pull in with this Virginia 600 crossing in Grayson Highlands. Said, you got to go to this little place, Hostel Market down the street. It's freaking killer. And sure enough, I went and looked. Oh my gosh. A cute little couple retired. He's a doctor. They're up here just kind of living a simple life and serving breakfast cooked to order and nice little rooms, showers, and so I'm a little excited. This is great. Well, after a few rough days in the woods, nothing like a shuttle ride and a hot bath. First bath I've had in years. So guys, just wanted to give a shout out to this place, Grayson Highlands General Store, close to Grayson Highlands Park, State Park, which is the park here in Virginia with the wild ponies and big mountains with tons of grass, but really nice, man. Set up very reasonable, nice killer room, private bath. I was able to take an actual bath, which was unreal. Butterfly said you could do it because it was super clean, and I did. But they got a great resupply store. It sits right here on the creek back here. They They were heavily damaged by the flood, wiped out a bunch of stuff, but they're rebuilding. This is actually a doctor and his wife moved up here from Miami and bought a little place. It's great. And just enjoying a simple life up here. So I would encourage anybody traveling through the Grayson Highlands area to check them out.
So that's not
Bobby, get me on video. This Bobby giving me a shuttle ride up here towards Grayson Highlands, and give me some intel on all the local places around here, and places to stay at, and good folks, and some other ones that maybe not so good. So that's good. And Bobby's been settling for a while up here. He lives up here. You got anything you want to say, Bobby?
No.
All right, we appreciate it. Where the air is clear and the road is straight, all the choices have been made. I keep rolling right along, leaning on the traveling song. So back on trail after a few days of torrential rain, trails like rivers, setting up, breaking down in the rain, to finally making it after a hard as heck day up a 3,000 foot incline or elevation, and making it to the parking lot after a long day, then freezing to death and having to go to a pit toilet to change clothes, and then deciding to go ahead and cook in the pit toilet, sitting on the toilet seat, boiling my water, pouring in my dehydrated dinner, trying to make a hot cup of tea to get my spirits up. Heading up to Grayson Highlands State Park and the ponies, the wild ponies, and I think there might even be a wild steer up here too. I don't know if I want to see him. Wild ponies, but we can get lucky. This is the Grayson Highlands. This is where I was years ago when we camped and we saw horses. And in the middle of the night, a horse had gotten my cook kit. Back then it was like a Boy Scout cook kit. This is back in the early 80s when I was up here with RJ and Lee, maybe Ham and some other folks. And he got my cook kit on his hoof. And he banged around in the middle of the night. I said, hey man, I gotta need my cook kit back. And he finally popped off his hoof. It's all beat up. Hey, little bitty. You look so cute. Will you talk to me? Will you say hey? Will you say hey to me? Hey, come here. Come here, I'll say hey. Hey. Hey, buddy. How you doing? Nice to meet you. I know it. Hey, good to see you. I know. You're so sweet. What a treat. You're doing good, bud. Thank y'all. Thank you for the visit. I appreciate it. This is Fat Man Squeeze up here in Grayson Highlands. Hey, fellas, come on, I'll pet you. Just say hey to me. I know. I just say hey. I just pet you. I just say hey to you. Good girl. I know it. Hey. Good girl. I know it. Yes, you are. What do you think of that? Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, just being a little foil. I don't know how old he is. He's asked Bo, but he's young. Hey, I know it. Come here. He's so pretty. Yes, you are. I know it. Such a pretty horse. Such a pretty horse. Yes, you are. Hey, big boys. How y'all doing? Hey. So I'm hiking this morning, about 11:30. Just got some music on my earphones. You know, stopping to put stuff in my notes in my phone. Stuff I need to do. All of a sudden I hear this crash. Right next to the trail. A tree's bending down here, thump, boom. And then running off through the woods. And this tree was shaking. The limbs have been shaking and been busted. I know it was a bear. I turned off my headphones and looked around, but he was gone. But it was a big crash. He was up a tree. Anyway, I hope to see one sometime. Nice place for a break, huh? Check out these cascading waterfalls. Morning, guys. Had a nice night in the shelter up here, getting close to Marion, Virginia, with Can and these three guys that I met, Sting, Shorty, and Dutch. But it was nice. Cooked some dinner. It rained all night, but the shelter was nice and dry. And it's an old shelter, had bunk beds in it and stone walls. No mice that I heard of, so that was good. But we're off again, trekking on the Appalachian Trail. Greetings, guys. Just made it into Atkins, Virginia, Moving on down the trail, and then got a surprise from Charlie. My good buddy Charlie and his wife packed up a package. Charlie's my mountain bike buddy back from Birmingham, who lives in Telluride, Colorado now, and wanted to send me something nice. And look at this. Enjoying the sunset at the Alpaca Farm Hostel. What's the name of this place?
I forgot.
Liam's Lairs
Something later.
Lairs Alpaca Farm Hostel. There's Grasshopper up there. Here comes DG. Butterflies up top videoing. And we got a killer sunset. First sun we've seen in freaking 2 weeks. And it feels great. And then look, we got our little buddies over here looking at us. Hey guys, over here. You're on YouTube. Howdy. Good morning. From Atkins, Virginia, getting back on trail. I had a one-night stay at the Quarter Inn Hostel because we're a quarter way in of the trail. That's promising. Cute little owners. An academic guy from Durham, North Carolina, and his wife, and she hiked the trail 10 years ago and bought this little spread up here with 8 acres and grows honeybees and opens the hostel for 4 or 5 months a year, especially during the bubbles. People are coming through, and really nice. Served a killer breakfast with her own grown blueberries and honey, and made some her own sourdough bread. But we're back on trail. About to put some Billy on and get it on.